All right. Welcome to the Jonathan Bena podcast. I hope yours was a great week. Well, mine has been a full one, and the next couple of weeks should be quite a sprint too. But as you can possibly already hear from the sounds in the background, we are recording today's episode on location. We're just a few minutes away from the Ssezibwa Falls, which if you haven't visited yet, I highly recommend you do it. It's one of those easy, close-to-town destinations that if you're just starting out in the tourism industry, it's one of those easy destinations that you can just maybe hitchhike, take a taxi from town, and come and explore Ssezibwa. Now, today's episode should be a relatively short one because my guest is running an event, and I don't want to keep him waiting for too long. We will hold a brief chat on tourism promotion in Uganda through the eyes of a digital-savvy marketing and communications professional. He's also an experienced digital marketing consultant. My guest today is hosting the launch of the Tourism Promoters Club, which I have been so happy and so fortunate to attend and also support. You must be wondering what the club is all about or who it is for, and let alone maybe what does this phrase tourism promoter mean. Well, I've got the man behind it, and we will get all those details in a bit. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll have this discussion and more after the short break. What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to the Jonathan Bena podcast, a show that is wild, very wild. We are proudly Uganda's #1 conservation and tourism show, but we also benefit from a listenership from all across the African continent and the world at large. We try to put out a new episode every Sunday with discussions ranging around how to make the natural world a better place, creating awesome images, telling stories with words, wildlife films and photography, with occasional musings on sound and tech. If these topics fascinate you as much as they interest me, I promise you this podcast will have you in a spin. I do share a lot of my personal experiences, and from time to time, I'll have one or two guests on the podcast to have some very insightful discussions. So thank you so much for tuning in, and enjoy your time here. Alright guys, welcome back to the Jonathan Bena podcast, where we talk about the earth. We do talk about images, words, wildlife films and photography, tourism and travel, and occasionally music. Thank you all for continually streaming and supporting the show. If you didn't know, we are still high up on the list of the top podcasts in Uganda, and we're still the country's #1 travel and conservation podcast. So thank you so much for keeping the show alive. Thank you for supporting the show. Keep recommending it, keep sharing. But as I mentioned before the break, we are recording today's episode not so far away from the Ssezibwa Falls, and there are quite a lot of people here. You could rightfully say that there are plenty of positive vibes in this location. And on the podcast today, I'm joined by a gentleman called Jafar Ajena, who is the managing partner at Thamini Marketing. Now, Thamini Marketing is a tourism marketing agency based in Kampala, Uganda, and it focuses on the development of marketing campaigns and digital strategies for clients in the tourism and hospitality industry. Jafar and his team are launching the Tourism Promoters Club, and I'm glad to be around to see it as it takes its first baby steps. Now, Jafar and I go back quite a bit. We have been fortunate to work together in the tourism space, and we are both extremely passionate about tourism promotion and digital solutions. It's these two related fields that we will be chatting about today. So welcome to the podcast, Jafar.
Thank you very much, Jonathan Benaya.
Thanks for allowing to do this.
It's my pleasure.
How have you been, man?
Been all right.
Yeah, busy, doing good things.
Yeah, a couple of weeks have been crazy.
Yeah.
Pushing hard to make this happen. I am extremely glad that we're here, and I'm also very happy that you actually came through to witness this.
I had to when I hear of good stuff, I try to share around.
You're right.
Yeah. Now let's just get the detail out of the way. You've been in the tourism. You've worked in the tourism industry. I do know, but perhaps the guys tuned in might not know you that well. So let's just get a background about yourself, what you do, and also how did you end up where you are now.
Thank you very much. Okay. Just to reiterate, my name is Ajena Jafar. As introduced, I am a digital marketing strategist.
Yeah.
I prefer to work in the tourism sector. I've been in this sector for quite some time. Interesting story is when I took a Google Online Marketing Challenge at university one of my first clients
Yeah.
was a tour operator.
Oh.
Yeah, interestingly, a farm called Nalubale Rafting.
Yeah, those are my friends.
Yeah,
in
so
Jinja.
when I traveled to Jinja out of my own pocket money to go pitch to farms that would allow to have us work with them on the online marketing challenge, Nalubale was the one that gave us the opportunity, and we used a $250 US dollar credit that was given by Google, and we sort of like built a campaign for them, and that is how the digital journey began. And that's also my I think first encounter with tourism, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
That
Beautiful.
was the first time I did a tour to the source of the Nile.
Oh, wow.
So to I think give it context, that was 2012.
2012. So that's about 11 years?
Close to 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite some time. So would you say all the 11 years have been in tourism, or you've served other clients?
No.
Yeah.
So so I did continue with my consultations, and especially in digital and social media marketing for SME farms in tourism.
Yeah.
I had clients in Bwindi, I had clients around Kampala, tour operators in Jinja as well.
Yeah.
But after school, I got into for my first corporate job, I got into banking.
Yeah.
Yes. I served in banking for about 3 years, then crossed over to microfinance.
Yeah.
Served in microfinance for another, I think, 2 years and 2 years and 8 months.
Okay.
And that is when I officially moved back into tourism, when I joined the tourism board as the digital marketing officer.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting. And am I right to say that the journey has been so far so good?
It's been an exciting journey.
It's been exciting.
I'll tell you this. After I left the tourism board, 3 years and 4 months later, I still find it very difficult to cross into a different sector.
It's hard to leave tourism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do was pivot.
Yeah.
A marketing firm that I started in 2017.
Yeah.
To focus on developing tourism and collaborating with the different players in the sector.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. Now you're launching the tourism Uganda Tourism Promoters Club today.
Yes.
And I'd like to know this big phrase, tourism promoters. What does it mean? And also, what is this club about? Who is it for? What is it exactly? Where do people find it? And also, what's your vision for this whole thing?
All right. Too many questions.
Yeah,
I'll take one at a time.
Yeah.
So I'll start with what the Tourism Promoters Club is exactly.
Sure.
Okay. So the Tourism Promoters Club, just like you hear it, is a community of people that actively promote tourism.
Yeah.
Because they benefit from it. Why did I come up with such a word exactly? I think it's from experience. Coming from a marketing background and getting into the tourism industry, sometimes the professionals that you find in the sector a little bit closed. They think tourism is for the ones that did hospitality and travel.
Yes.
But what I got to realize with the time that I've been in the sector is that there's so many professionals that devote their time, knowledge and skill to supporting this sector.
Yeah.
Content creators, travel writers, guys in arts and crafts. So many. There's besides hospitality, tour operations and tour guiding,
the hardcore players.
Exactly. The other service providers.
You have a lot of ancillary. We call them ancillary support services.
True.
Yeah. Mm.
And they really advocate for tourism.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is what we wanted to do is create a platform where everyone in the tourism value chain sort of like gets to connect with the other professionals and develop a network that they can harness to grow the businesses.
Yeah.
Yes, all the careers, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe so much in collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something we can definitely do more of, work better on.
True.
In Uganda.
Yes.
So where are you going with this, or where do you see this going? It's in maybe the next couple of years. What's a big picture?
Okay, so the Tourism Promoters Club will, for me, is more like a social enterprise whose goal is to develop tourism. and help people get the most out of it.
Yeah.
It also sort of like tracks back to again my feelings towards the sector itself.
Yeah.
Tourism for me is like agriculture. Yeah, its potential is immense.
Yeah.
But it's highly untapped. Yeah, so we want to help young professionals or anyone who's enthusiastic about tourism develop the capability. We want to create a platform where they can network with potential employers or potential partners, so they can build stronger companies. We want to help them. Want to help with skilling. Basically, I'm sure you witnessed what happened today. We had 3 very expert trainers with countless years of experience sharing their knowledge with these guys. Companies hire people and don't do enough to develop them, so we're giving them a choice. But it's not by mistake. Sometimes it could be because of the cost of doing this. It's hard to hire experts. But if you can come together as professionals and entrepreneurs in the business, we can actually cover this cost through the Tourism Promoters Club. So number one, we're fostering partnerships through networking. We are promoting collaboration among us because it's cheaper that way. We're young people, we don't have the resources to work with experts, so this platform should make it easier to do that. And then finally, we are exchanging knowledge and learning basically. Okay. Yeah.
Fantastic. And indeed, I guess the acronym for team comes out well. Together, everyone achieves more.
That is very true.
I'd like to wish you the very best.
Thank you.
You call it a social enterprise, but I feel like it's something that is very much needed.
Thank you. And please continue to support us. Come through to future events, and when we invite you to share some of your knowledge and experience with the young guys, please don't.
Absolutely. I'll be glad to. Now, Jafar, just to pretty much maybe look at the bigger picture in the tourism industry. Tourism promotion is one of those really big, it's continued to be one of the biggest challenges for tourism in the country. With so many private players putting the government to task to pull up their socks.
That's correct.
But also private sector not necessarily knowing how to promote and market themselves. So what do you feel like are the biggest challenges or biggest barriers to tourism promotion in the country, and how would a platform like this that you've created benefit or rather help solve some of those issues?
Okay. There's so many challenges that we face as a sector here in Uganda. So let me first focus on Uganda. One of the biggest ones being, I think, the being the tourism isn't really, I think, prioritized solely by government.
It's in the national development plan, but in budgetary allocations it's not.
No,
you don't feel it as a priority.
Exactly. What the government agencies responsible for promoting the sector receive is peanuts as compared to the other economies. Shockingly, even with the revelation one time when tourism actually proved to be the highest foreign exchange earner, government still failed to see and really give it what it deserves. So that's really, I think, a major challenge. The other challenges are political. We know how volatile tourism is. So politics affect the politics of Uganda affects our kind of tourism, and then we've had pandemics and outbreaks. Big problem. And then there's also the question of which is the one we're trying to address, the question of developing capacity to do tourism better, and that's what we really are driving towards as the Tourism Promoters Club. We want to help young people meet the right people they need to help them grow the brand. We want to help them learn from experts and peers alike, and see how they can develop strategies for both domestic and international marketing to promote the brands. We want to help guide the students who are coming into the sector and show them, there are options in tourism, and this is what you could do, and this is how you can actually make money. This is how some of us have done it. So tourism isn't just about going to university and doing Bachelor of Science in Tourism, hospitality. You could also bring a different skill set to the sector. You could be a lawyer and advise players in the sector and develop your own niche. We again is known for being creative, but we could also use collaboration to our advantage.
And garner all those different professionals, and bring them. I think everyone wins in that case.
Everyone wins. The vision is to see tourism in Uganda become as strong as, say, finance.
Wow.
If you go back a few years ago during the pandemic, when we saw quite a number of layoffs, tourism was highly affected. While the other sectors didn't really lay off their people, it quite actually created a problem for tourism. After the pandemic ended, most of the young professionals, all the talent in the sector just crossed over, and now we have to rebuild.
You have to reinterest them to come back.
So we need to find a way of sustainably developing tourism, so it's resilient.
Absolutely.
To the shocks that we know. Fortunately, we actually know these things, so we should prepare for them.
Now, Jafar, we and I know the guys tuned in can hear the buzz and whatever is happening around. There's quite a buzz of people here, and it's also a beautiful set to have this campsite and have us talk with that beautiful place, background behind us. I'd like to know, there seems to be of recent a buzz around tourism, especially within the young masses. What do you feel like is creating this vibe?
Lots of things. Number one, tourism. First of all, tourism is fun. And we know young people like to have fun and create memories. So tourism basically facilitates that. Secondly, I would say we are in a generation where content is becoming really critical. Everyone is on TikTok right now. Everyone is on Instagram. Social media and society, I think nowadays, demands new and fresh content every day.
Absolutely.
And young people find this on trips. People find nature and the lure of travel extremely exciting, which creates an opportunity for tour operators and other people in the tourism sector. So that basically explains why tourism is actually buzzing. Finally, the young generation is very digitally savvy. So the different innovations that have come in tourism have actually made it easy for them to actually consume it. So easy, by the way, in terms of cost as well. So it's unlike going and living in an expensive hotel. You could actually book and co-share an Airbnb or a tour bio for us here in Uganda. It's easy to have a website built for you now at about $180 with a service like GPS if you understand the tourism business. So it's digital has played a very fundamental role in getting the young people into the space. Both the consumers and the ones that are interested in building a career out of it.
Okay, beautiful. And it seems like digital is still going to be around. So I'd like to also ask, you are a digital strategist, digital marketing strategist. And while I have you here, I'd like you to share just a few tips. I know there are things that are now becoming a trend. You have augmented reality, you have AI that now is talk of the town, you have things like virtual reality which have been around for a while, but what would you say are opportunities in the digital space that tourism players can look out for currently, but even things that probably of that we can expect in the coming years?
So you basically talked about two things. You talked about the trendy digital innovations that have come up. But also there's a question on the opportunities that are available. So I'll seek to answer both. Virtual reality and augmented reality make tourism marketing really interesting. VR allows brands to sort of like package their offerings, record cool videos, and then showcase them using AR, offering people sort of like a near experience of the service. Tourism is highly immersive, and VR really serves that properly. AI is really cool for activations. Yeah, if rather augmented reality AR.
Yeah.
If say it's easy to run a campaign at a mall. Yeah, if that is if you can find a good experiential agency.
Yeah.
But you run a good activation campaign at the mall that will get people engaged. Yeah, with different games or features that you really bring with it. Yeah, so people find that cool.
Yeah.
In terms of opportunity for me, I see a lot of opportunity in sort of like creating solutions and basically convenience around tour operations in Africa, simplifying how tour operations are done. I'll take the example of one of the challenges that many tour operators face, both established and upcoming tour operators, is access to markets.
Yeah.
It's very hard. It's very hard for them to reach out to the right people, be it domestic or international. Yes, social media and digital are there, and everyone says it's easy to use that to get them, but everyone is in that space. So how do you compete? Yeah, and remember, tour operators and tour guides, the expertise is in service delivery. Tour operators are ground handlers.
Yes.
Tour guides basically relay the content. Yes, they can use digital to support that, but it's not the expertise.
But they're not digital first.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've seen OTAs, or online travel agencies, and online review sites sort of like monopolizing the space that has to do with tourism marketing, and they charge a hefty commission for it. But
the booking.coms of this world.
They're all foreign institutions, and here's where the problem is. They actually don't optimize the service for the domestic market. And remember, the domestic market is what actually would or should be the backbone of any tourism economy. Absolutely. We saw that firsthand with COVID. That once travel was shut down and we couldn't, because Uganda hadn't developed domestic tourism capacity, we couldn't do it. Ugandans don't book trips through booking.com. They don't book trips via TripAdvisor. It's very difficult. They will list the trips that the troopers will do that, but no Ugandans will not do that. So we don't really have enough innovation in that space to target, or we don't have innovations designed to the specific needs of the region and Ugandans themselves. So that's an opportunity. I would give another opportunity in terms of access to content. So tour operators, tour guides need high quality content to promote their offers and experiences. But this content is quite expensive to produce. On the other hand, we have a crop of content creators that are deliberately choosing to produce content for tourism, but they don't have an effective way of distributing this to the right
service providers.
So I actually envision sort of like a marketplace that looks like Getty Images, but one for safaris. Nice. Where a tour operator would easily find maybe a nice video to back up a campaign that they're running, or an image. So if we could have these kinds of innovations designed around it will work well. It would be unfair to not mention the startups that have come up to try and address some of these challenges. Tubayo, for one, is trying to address the challenge around with people find experiences, discover experiences, and also book facilities. It's our own Airbnb here, supporting our economy. We have Tripesa that is developing digital solutions for different players in the sector. So we'd like to see more innovation coming in.
Definitely. Well, as we draw to the end of the podcast, and of course there's still a lot of buzz going on. It's the weekend, so people are really gearing up for the Premier League and all those games. We need to lead to the end of the podcast, and I feel like the point that you tapped on, that you ended on, in light of we need more of these digital innovations, is a brilliant point to end the podcast on. But before I let you leave, I'd like to know where can people find the tourism club? Does it have a website? Do you have contacts? And also, as you do that, share with us your parting thoughts.
Okay, so we are in the process of building a website for the Tourism Promoters Club, but I don't really mind sharing the domain. It's www.tourismpromoters.org. So being a show enterprise, we have it as an organization, and the Tourism Promoters Club isn't really a Ugandan, should I say, solution only. It's something that we intend to export to other destinations through partnership. Yeah, we want to find like-minded individuals in Kenya,
other destinations,
in Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, and work with them to develop their sectors too, because we believe as Africans we all have the same challenges, and we actually do. So the Tourism Promoters Club should cut across.
Okay.
For my parting shots, I think it would be a waste of time to be on such a space and not tell people about this country, this beautiful country that we live in.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I can't put it in words. Yeah, but there's so much that Uganda has. All I can say is take the leap of faith. Ignore what you hear in the news. We are a happy country. We are happy people. It's very safe out here. We have all the wildlife. We have all the rivers, the mountains, the freshwater lakes. It's just amazing out here. The sun, the weather. I can't say enough about the weather here. It's paradise basically. So please come and enjoy it with us, and tell us about your cultures too. Come and invest in Uganda, and let's grow this the sector, the destination, and the region as well.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Jafar, for joining the podcast today.
It's my pleasure again.
I hope I can pull you out of your busy schedule and have you on the podcast in the future again.
I'll be very happy to. Yes.
So yes, guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this fantastic episode as much as I did. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, share this link in your circles, and let's get this conversation beyond this platform. For those that just can't get enough and would like more of such conversations, make it a point to subscribe to the podcast. Actually, listeners on Apple Podcasts might even be able to leave a star rating on the podcast. As we already said, the podcast is now available on all major streaming platforms, including Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio for those tuning in the US, Pandora, Castbox, Deezer, and several other platforms. As always, if you'd like to make a contribution to the conversation or send in a question, you can email me directly at contact@jonathanbenaya.com or ahabenathan@pm.b. Those emails will be linked down below in the podcast description, and we'll also leave a link to the domain that Jafar just shared with us. I also would like to once again appreciate our Patreons. It's through your monthly pledges that we're able to keep this show alive and just keep it up in those top charts as well. And with all that said, I'd like to wish you a great week ahead. Of course, as always, wish you happy travels, and remember to always keep them responsible. All right? I will see you in the next one.